Hello. Thank you, Jerome and Marianne. I definitely am going to be following the media info output of errors. I think that's something we all need. But today I'm going to talk to you about working with vendors with open source tools. My name is Sarah Gentile. I'm coming to you from MoMA. This is a picture of MoMA, located in New York. And the reason why I chose this photograph is because if you look very carefully, on the third floor there, you can see the film department. And I'm going to focus a lot on my work with the film department, although I work with all the departments in MoMA coming from the media conservation department. A lot of the footprint of our storage is generated from preservation projects because the film department was created not long after the founding of MoMA in the 1930s in 1935. So it's one of the largest film archives film collections in the United States, and has a lot of preservation projects going on. So the media conservation team is responsible for a lot of that content, and I'll talk to you about the challenges that presents. So I wanted to talk to you about why I'm here and what this whole talk is about, which is really about films like this. I borrowed heavily because my talk is not very visual and I don't have a lot of beautiful media art to show you, but I do have these stills from an incredible film that was an early hand-colored film, The Serpentine Dance, which is was currently showed in an exhibition at MoMA focusing on color and film before Technicolor. So it's films like this that are the bedrock of the film preservation program, and I just think that they're super beautiful. You used to see this in your vaudeville, and then it was like early transfers to film, so I'll be borrowing heavily from the two films that document this dance, although it was done by many performers. So, as I was saying, MoMA has a lot of film. This is a small section of the film department's reels that you'll find in Hamlin, Pennsylvania. I have a picture of that later, so hold on. Just wanted to give you a sense of where I'm coming from. I'm in the media conservation department at MoMA. I work with two full-time media conservators. I am not a media conservator, but I am a digital preservation specialist. The film department itself is quite large, but the people that I work with directly in the film department are the film conservation manager, collections manager, and quite something I wanted to point out is that we have no film cataloger at the moment. And this is the I wanted to talk to you about the Film Preservation Center, which is state-of-the-art, super beautiful in a very rural part of Pennsylvania called Hamlin. It's incredible if you get a chance to go see it, the work that's done there. It's an enormous storage facility for us, and it's a place where we can store our nitrates safely. So an incredible institution, kind of part of our institution, but also almost an institution in and of itself. There's a small staff running that as well, but we work separately from them, of course. And when we got to the film cataloging, which was taking quite a bit of our time and taking up all the ability to actually work with these materials, we needed to streamline the process. And I think it was Andreas and Caroline that talked about using Ferber in their work. Our film department follows FIAF and really focuses on using Ferber. I always feel like the manifestation level gets skipped, but Ferber is super useful for describing your related works. It's an incredible tool for describing and cataloging. So the only problem is the rest of MoMA's collection is not based in Ferber. So there's problems within TMS, and anyone loves a beautiful screenshot of TMS can see that when we had to catalog all these materials on the item level, it was taking a lot of our time. Just a lot of our time, because a lot of materials were coming back. So we were innovative and we decided, let's just catalog this on the shuttle level, because our current storage allows us to take these materials down and repackage them when we get to that point. I'm not sure it will ever happen, but it allows for safe storage. It allows us to fully describe these materials. And I don't know if you can see right there, but the element type tells you what materials are there. So there's a DCP, there's DPX, there's an H.264, there's a ProRes. So you know what you have in that shuttle and you can retrieve it. So doing this in a kind of a way of bundling everything together allowed us to streamline this process. However, it didn't solve the problem, because in order to put things into our digital repository for museum collections, the DRMC, which is based on an OAIS model, we have to do a lot to separate the materials from that go into our cloud tier, that go into our local tier. We have analog backups of those files that are being preserved so they can stay locally, because we have more copies. Everything's following locks. We're good. It's not a problem. But we still have to, in order to get things into Archivematica and to package them properly and get all that robust metadata, we have to individually bag elements, and that can take a lot of time, even with batch bagging scripts. So preservation, safe preservation, means transferring things off files, off drives, cataloging them, and bagging and processing them through Archivematica with our software partners, Artifactual. This is just so much time, so much material, and so much time. So just to give you a sense of stats, because everyone likes looking at stats, we have about 50 preservation projects a year. That's like based on title. There are about 5 preservation vendors in play in the New York area that we tend to work with. We have about north of a petabyte of material just in the film department. Only a little less than half is safely stored at this point, and it's been my focus and work based on a lot of the great and groundbreaking work of Flaminia Fortunato and Caroline Gill, who were here at MoMA, or not here, but at MoMA, and had researched using RAWcooked. We were able to work on ways to ingest and get rid of this material, or get it off of drive and into safe storage. But since we can't do it all ourselves, we realized we need to task these vendors with doing some of the work, the prep work for us. So first we asked them to process the image sequence. So again, raw cooking, that has been our hero. Thank you, Jerome. And sometimes, because these files are unique, or these films are unique, and the asks from curators are unique, they don't have every key. We encourage them to buy keys when they can, but a lot of the time we just have them tar if they're having trouble with the RAWcooked, but we try to walk them through it. We also just do the really basic work of like, hey, name the files right, name the folders right, and oh, thanks. And Peter, I'm sorry, they haven't figured out a way to use your file and folder naming tool. So we asked for that. I'm going to burn through these slides pretty quickly. And we've asked them to package it for delivery using Baggett. And so the results, I should have put a drum roll, but that would have been cheesy. Okay, so everyone needed a little bit of guidance when we asked them to do this work. There were long email chains, different levels of technical knowledge, lots of technical knowledge coming from a PC base that, frankly, I wasn't the best to help with. But a lot of times they also delivered the DPX files along with the RAWcooked materials. However, taking that drive and transferring the files off of the drive into our preservation system pretty quickly. Felt incredible. One rsync command and everything was going where it needed to go. So there's challenges in communication, avoiding jargon, talking to people in a way that they can understand what's going on. Also the fact that we're dealing with different computing environments. There's people dealing with the processing speeds of their only available computers. These are tight labs that don't have a ton of extra resources to devote to just letting a machine whir in the background and churn on these files. And it's a different community. These people work in film preservation, but they're not archivists in the way that or focused on the kind of archival work that we are focused on. So there's not a ton of overlap. This is not exactly a Venn diagram. That's why you see this going on. So I wanted to talk about the fact that also there's open source tools that they're using, but they're used to enterprise software, a lot of it coming from the film industry, which is a little more hand-holding. So that has also been a challenge. And just because, I thought maybe I took out this slide. I'm ending soon, so I'll just say that one of the advantages of this method is it's allowed us to occasionally use things like Media Shuttle, which can deliver like really large content pretty quickly, and once we have the checksums provided, we can feel pretty confident that we received what we thought we wanted to receive. However, there are challenges here that you can see, so I'm not going to call out, but hard drives are expensive and have a lot of rare earth minerals. It's kind of nice to avoid that. And so my last two slides, I'm just saying that really I came here to ask all of you, if you have tips to help us to talk with these vendors, if you're working in your organization and have ways of communicating these tools a little bit better to people outside of this room and people who don't have this knowledge and the joy of meeting Jerome, and if you have tips for us and want to work with us, let us know, reach out to me, and I want to thank these people, and that's it. I'll cede my time.